Friends, chums, compatriots, and angry listeners, welcome to the Triforce Mailbag.
It's magical.
I think we've done like 35 or something of those. I don't know. We've done a bunch of these anyway. I hope you
It's
enjoyed
like
this
fucking
one.
magic.
It is like magic. They just the mails keep on coming, and I keep on reading them out to you for your enjoyment.
Not the long ones though. That's the
well, it's got to be
the fine
good.
print. Don't
That
send
is
me
the
long
fine
ones.
print. Please don't send us paragraph after paragraph. So people have taken that on board. And for example, this is a good one. This is from Hunter. After hearing about that guy's lazy eye on the most recent mailbag, I figured I'd send an interesting fact about myself. I have Marcus Gunn jaw winking syndrome, a very rare syndrome that is basically the opposite of a lazy eye. Give it a quick Google. My right eye is totally normal, but my left eyelid is at the will of my jaw. When I open my mouth to yawn, eat, or laugh loudly, my left eyelid will jump up and down in tandem. That's Marcus Gunn jaw winking syndrome. I'll try and Google it, and I'll see if I can post this.
Jaw
is this like no
syndrome.
burp? Is this like the no burp guy?
I think it is, but
Marcus Gunn jaw winking syndrome. MGJWS is one of the congenital cranial dysinnervation disorders, and it's caused by an abnormal connection of branch of the nerve that helps move the jaw to the upper eyelid. This is what causes it.
Okay.
So if only they could fix that.
Yeah.
What about it?
Well, and it's just interesting. I'd never heard of it.
It gives you a really lazy looking eye.
You open your mouth and your eye closes, like that. It must look bizarre. How do you get by, Hunter? Let us know. Has it ever led to any interesting or hilarious
Have you accidentally sexily winked at someone you didn't intend to?
Yeah, let us know.
When you yawned at them?
Let us know.
Let us know the funny scenarios you've gotten into.
Give us a winking
What if he doesn't
scenario.
find it at all funny, though? You know?
Well, he wouldn't have told us, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, true.
It must have given him some moments of joy,
some moments of levity. Here is an email. This is for you. Sips.
It's very serious medical illness.
I'm going to send you a YouTube link.
This is always the way with this fucking show. It's just it rattles back and forth between weird shit and YouTube videos
and emails about Adele. Here we go. This is Adele shows are so boring. This is according to Blake.
Yeah.
That she has to have a t-shirt cannon to keep people interested. Thought Sips would like this. Here is a link to Adele firing t-shirts from a cannon. It looks like a Nabalwerfer for any of those fans. There you go.
Oh my god, you're right. One of them's it's like a t-shirt minigun. Is what it is.
It really
rotates with a handle.
Okay, the thing is, I think she's a pretty good singer. I'm sure like her songs are pretty good. It's not for me. I wouldn't really listen to that kind of music anyway. But like, it's not taking it. I'm just saying, like a live concert, there's certain things I just think would be for me too boring, and that's one of them. But the t-shirt cannon maybe would go some ways into keeping me awake during that
sending
concert.
like $50 of t-shirts out into the crowd.
Yeah.
It's not like it's sending hundreds. It sends like 9.
Yeah,
one of them gets jammed in the tube.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
It's a huge t-shirt cannon.
Actually, having said that, those t-shirts, if you bought them at the concert, they probably cost you like 60 quid.
Well, I mean, these t-shirts ain't cheap. I think Sarah bought a Taylor Swift t-shirt at the Eras concert and it was 40 quid.
I know they are expensive.
She got it cheap.
When at Wembley, I think that's pretty much just a t-shirt. It doesn't matter who you go to see. Bruce Springsteen t-shirts, $40 each.
40
Blur
quid.
t-shirts, $40 each.
Yeah.
Well, she needs the money, though, to be honest.
Yeah, it says, she's got an era to run. If this was Civ, this is the, we come through the industrial age, and now we're in the Taylor Swift era.
They're not cheap.
She's going for a gold victory, that's for sure. little Civ joke, and Lulu liked that one. All right.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
This one's called Went On Inside the Factory.
Did you?
So this is a two-parter. First of all, this is from Henry.
Oh my god, these are some great emails today.
First of all, I would like to register a complaint with Mr. Lovis, who during a recent stream complained that he is being dragged to Guernsey next week, saying this with a tone of utter disgust.
Okay, an update on that. I went to Guernsey and I had a simply delightful time. What a nice place to visit. So before you go too hard on me, I'd never been to Guernsey as a tourist before, okay? And so I thought maybe it was going to be a bit boring, but actually turns out Guernsey is really nice, and
There
I
you
had
go.
a blast.
Loved Guernsey.
You're gonna be kicked off Jersey
I
now
will
for
not
saying
read
that.
the insulting second part of this this section. So this is the main bit. I thought you guys might like to hear about the time I appeared on an episode of Inside the Factory, since I know Sips is a fan.
Yes.
It was an
Which
episode.
one?
It was an episode about Irish cream liqueurs.
Oh, I remember watching that one.
liqueurs.
And for one of Cherry Healy's segments in a separate location, they roped my university rugby club into an experiment. We were
I
told to
remember
meet.
that.
There you go. We were told to meet at a local pizzeria/bar in Sheffield, where they said they wanted to test the effects of alcohol on cognitive function. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I remember.
We
Yeah.
had to do a little test in which we
They
matched
had to-
symbols to numbers on a piece of paper, as many as we could do in a minute. Then we would be given a pint of beer and would have to do it again. This was repeated a few times, and halfway through, they brought out a stack of pizzas as a thank you. 3 pints and pizzas sounds like a good deal. However, we were split into 2 tables, and some way into the afternoon, the guys on my table started to realize that the other table was having a lot more fun than us, and we thought the beer tasted okay, but a little off. We sussed out that we must have been given alcohol-free beer to act as the control group for the cognitive test. Near the end of filming, the presenter said that they had indeed been playing a trick on us, and we all felt very clever for having figured it out. However, we weren't quite as smart as we thought, because she then said that the cognitive test was all a ruse, and they'd actually been testing the effects of alcohol on our appetites. Our
That's
hearts all
right.
sank.
I remember the show. They were saying, like, you know, if they drank enough beer, would they get hungrier and hungrier for the pizza? That was on the actual episode,
I
right?
see.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. The trick within a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They got them good.
So they'd been testing the
Yeah.
effects of alcohol on our appetites. Our hearts sank as we realized that we'd just been filmed demolishing all of the pizzas for TV. Some guys folding multiple slices into single mouthfuls because we were all
Oh, yeah.
so hungry, having waited around all afternoon.
Honestly, though, I think for the average watcher of that show, nobody even really clocked it because it was a rugby team and they all looked like really hungry guys as well.
Right.
So it fit perfect, you know, like, and I don't think they caught any like overly embarrassing, you know, like people eating or whatever. Like, I think it was all edited in a way to just show that, like, yeah, they drank beer, they were really hungry, and they ate a
Was this
shit ton of
part
pizza.
of the Inside the Factory episode or something?
Yeah,
This
they-
is, yeah,
this is
because inside the factory they do the bit with they do the bit inside the factory, and then they go over to Cherry, who's usually with somebody who's like explaining some aspect of it, or she's with some specialist who knows something like in or around whatever they're making in the factory. And then there's
Right.
the other lady, Ruth, I think, who does the history bit, you know?
Oh,
So like,
I
say they're in the
see.
soup factory, she'll go and speak to the professor of soup at
So they're
Cambridge
padding it
University
out.
to
I
find out
fucking
how
hate
the
this shit.
Victorians made the soup and everything.
Just do the factory bit. Like, don't do the fucking rugby team bit. Sorry.
I
want
don't
to
know,
see
it's
I don't want
nice.
to watch like
It
the
gives you
fucking
background.
rugby team eat pizza when I'm trying to watch an episode about at a liqueurs factory.
I know,
or
but
whatever.
it gives you some nice context though, because all you see is this like mega ultra efficient factory making soup, but it's kind of nice to know how they used to make it before. You know, you get an
Right.
idea of how the Industrial Revolution really changed the way that we all live and
Back
stuff.
before this factory, we used to just get tomatoes and smash them on our face with hands. And then we'd
It's
just
kinda like that.
lick it up and then vomit it out into the can. And then we'd sell that. It's like, what? No, it's fucking, what do you think? They just use a wooden press or something. And before that, they used some other thing. Like, it's just a less technical version. Like, people have been mass producing food for fucking hundreds of years. I mean,
Not
I mean,
on this scale, they haven't. Big
I just
boy.
want to see the cool things like the rubbery slappy arms, which like
Yeah.
slap it and stuff. I want to see all of the
The potato
that stuff,
juggler.
the weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a double header of Gregg Wallace emails to follow this up. This one,
Fucking Gregg Wallace. He's gone to another place. He's doing another fucking show. What is he doing now?
well, no,
Nah,
this
he's at
is
home
this
playing
is,
Total War for 7 hours.
ignoring his kid. This is from Lucas. The strangest thing happened as I was listening to episode 278. This email is from February, and you were talking about Gregg Wallace's Simple Saturday. I walked past none other than Gregg Wallace himself. It was in Canary
What the
Wharf,
fuck?
Monday morning, 6:45 a.m. He was in grey tracksuit, likely coming from the Third Space Gym where the celebs are known to go. I wanted to stop him and explain that I was listening to a podcast about him, but he was on a FaceTime call. That's Gregg Wallace email number 1.
Gregg Wallace is doing a public FaceTime call in Canary Wharf, like just in broad daylight, walking around doing
At
a FaceTime.
6:45 in the morning, yeah.
That is such a, like, okay, I'm not one for calling someone a boomer, but that is a huge
That's boomer.
move.
That's mega boomer. So this is from a Zoe emails in. This is one of my favorite emails I think we've ever had. This really made me laugh. I was at work and I had a weird feeling. I looked up and Gregg Wallace was looking at me from outside the shop.
What the fuck?
I loved it. I had a weird
That'll
feeling.
do it. That'll do it.
We maintained eye contact
Fucking
for about a
weirds me out as
second
well.
before he walked away. The first thing that entered my head was, he's probably avoiding spending time with his autistic son, thanks to your conversation about his daily routine in a previous episode.
Did he have that fucking sheepish looking grin where his eyebrows like look all evil and stuff? Is that the look that he gave you when he made
we'll
eye
never
contact
know.
with him briefly?
Why is this fucking podcast to have you seen Gregg Wallace?
I mean, if you've seen Gregg Wallace, email in and let us know what it was like, because
What the fuck?
I just love that he got a weird feeling. He got a weird feeling and look up,
weird feeling.
and there's Gregg Wallace looking at you. That's so funny. Oh, I love that.
Man.
All right. How about sleep injuries? Do you want to hear about this?
Yeah, sure. So it's just posted a fucking picture of Gregg Wallace doing a shit-eating grin.
That's the shit-eating grin I'm talking about. That's the one. So you look out the window and that's what you see.
God, punch it. All right.
Moments before you die.
This is from Will. Back in high school, I had a dream that I was dangling above a shark in the ocean. I kicked out of the shark and made contact with its teeth. My foot was bleeding and I was in a lot of pain. Immediately, I woke up and my foot was still in a ton of pain. Evidently, I must have kicked the wall next to my bed really hard, fighting against that imaginary shark. For the next episode, I had to dodge questions about what happened while I was limping everywhere. Have you guys ever injured yourself while sleeping? Or had an awkward real-life consequence resulting from a dream?
Okay, nothing to do with dreams, but I injured myself while sleeping. I managed to pinch a nerve in my neck, and that pain was with me for like 4 months this year. So
I remember that, yeah.
That happened during sleep. I don't know how or why. It's never happened to me before. Guess it just slept funny. I don't know, but it's a weird one. Give me 2 seconds. I just got to answer the phone, okay? I'll just be a sec.
Go for it. I've had a few situations where I've fallen asleep on my arm or something and then woken up with my entire arm like properly numb.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's really horrible.
It's awful. And then like it's real weird to deal with for a little bit while it's all floppy and you don't quite know what to do with it.
I know.
And then once it like starts getting the feeling again, it's like, oh, like kind of you get suddenly all that tingling all over. And
it's actual pain as it starts to come back online. But what I want to know is like, if I'd stayed like that, like if I'd really passed out, like I'm out for 12 hours and I've been lying on this arm, what damage is done? Any circulatory experts out there or doctors or nurses who know about this? Has anyone ever come in and been like, my arm is not working anymore. I slept on it and it hasn't come back. What's happened? How long before you lose the arm? How long before you do permanent nerve damage? What's the deal with arms falling asleep? I want to know.
Oh no, great questions. Let's find out. I did have a weird dream last night. I was like, okay, there was like an egg delivered to me.
Hello.
Right? Like quite a big egg.
I drove down myself.
And it hatched, right, to reveal like two bugs, like two really big, like almost like, you know, that like massive pet stag beetle you can get or whatever, those big boys. But one of them looked like a licorice allsort man or something. It had like a long nose, like a pointy, sharp sword nose. The other one had like a big pinchy, it was like a pinchy fella. Anyway, they were fighting. And they were fighting all over the place, right? All over my flat, all over the office. Like I was just watching them and like trying to, I don't know, it was just like a whole thing. And then eventually something I did like distracted the stag beetle guy. He fell over and the other guy stabbed him and like they sort of, he died. But then they kind of, there was like a flash of light and it just turned back into an egg. And that was fucking weird. And then the other thing I dreamed was that because this was a couple of months ago, I remember it, I had a really bad cold, right? Or I was like really bunged up.
Okay.
And I dreamed that there was like a gecko, like, or something in my nose. And I pulled that out and it like cleared my airways. It was like, there was like this gecko living up there up my nose. What the fuck? dreams,
Yeah,
man.
I think they're interesting. I'm not criticizing your dreams. I will say, in general, I find dreams quite dull to recount. And when people tell you their dream,
tell me about it.
it's very dull. I'm not saying that I'm having a pop at your story.
It was so vivid,
but yes, for the dreamer, it's incredibly vivid and real, and you kind of want to talk about it because you're still trying to comprehend it. And part of your brain is thinking, "Did this happen? I've got to figure what this means." The interesting thing to me about dreams is that you imagined that. But if you were just sitting around all day trying to imagine a bizarre scenario, it wouldn't be as weird and startling as your dreams, which begs the question, what part of our brain is restraining our imagination during the day and when we're trying to think of things? And what is it about sleep that liberates it? And can we achieve that state with chemistry whilst awake? And is that what LSD is essentially doing?
Yes, I think that's exactly what it is. I think like that sort of these kind of things that cause your brain to kind of go all dreamy. We talk sometimes, like there was a thing recently with Paul McCartney where he talked about how he dreamed the tune for Yesterday.
I actually dreamt the tune for yesterday. Oh, yesterday, oh, my trouble seemed so far away. And I woke up and I'm noodling away on the piano and I came up with it. And I said to John, what do you think about this? He said, I don't like it, Paul. I think it's rubbish. I said, well, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm pretty sure it came out after you were dead. Let's check. Yesterday, song. Oh, no, it's by the Beatles. 1965, in fact. He was alive and well.
Well, apparently, though, he said, I thought, like, I must have heard it somewhere.
Right.
And that's why it's in my head. So he actually, like, for a couple of weeks, he like was trying to find out if he'd heard it anywhere else, and then he wrote it because originally he was like the first person I saw was John. I said, "What's this? It's bugging me. What's this song?" He goes, "I don't know." Where's he come from?
He's an Australian. I don't bloody know, mate. Straight.
I don't know. But do you know what I mean, like it was almost went exactly as you fucking called it. But yeah,
That's
I mean,
funny.
I think a lot of the time. Dreams are just. I always think that there's some link to our brains. Stuff that messes with our brain must cause or trigger similar physiological effects to happen. And dreaming is a thing that we all are aware of. Some people don't really dream, but I think they do probably.
I think they just don't remember them, or maybe they've
I think
got...
you're not supposed to remember them.
No, I think it's generally if you wake up in the middle, those are the ones that you remember. The last dream, you don't remember all the other dreams during the night.
We've talked about this before, but you're supposed to, like, if you want to try and remember your dreams, you should, anytime you get like a hint of something on memory and waking up, you should like write it down, and that'll help you like start to.
I guess. Did you do Kirsty and Bryony's podcast?
Yes,
where they talk about
dreams.
It was
Comfort Zone. Yeah.
It was. It's funny that it's called Comfort Zone because the dream I recounted was actually really horrifying.
No, and those two aren't that comfy either. They're not cute and cuddly. They're
pretty
very
brutal.
Cursed.
Yeah, So I thought that was interesting. I don't know what their background is in dreams or if they're just interested in them. But I think it's one of those things you can get those books to decode your dreams. It's a load of rubbish. It's that to me, that dream decoding is no different from reading tea leaves and shit like that. It's just fun to sometimes talk about them. I suppose it's more fun to talk about your reaction to it and what you felt that it meant. That's what it actually is. It's like very gentle psychology where you're like, what do you think that meant? And then you might reveal a bit more about the things that are troubling you or your mental state rather than the dream revealing it. Your analysis of it is more revealing, I would suggest.
I think like it makes sense to just like it's consider like that interpretation, but it doesn't have to have any fucking. I think people reading too deeply into this stuff is the problem. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, let's start the next email and we'll catch Sips up as we go because this is quite a long one. This has got an interesting title. This is called Acting in a Chinese Soap Opera. Okay, this is from Jared. I was recently cast in a Vancouver, BC vertical production. Called because it's shot to be viewed exclusively on a mobile phone, which I never knew that this was a thing. It's slated to be one of many cheesy soap operas on an app, Drama Box, which features short-form series intended to be watched on your commute. Each episode is no longer than 1 minute, and a series will have over 150 episodes, giving each series a movie-length script. The settings are typically focused on CEOs, with some being about doctors, werewolves, or a combination of the three. From what I understand, the app is incredibly popular in China. The series are shot in English, and from what I've seen, the casts are entirely white. However, the producers and directors, along with the majority of the crew, were Chinese. As for the story, it's about a CEO sleeping and eventually falling in love with his secretary. The secretary is one of 2 adopted daughters of an unrelated family. The other adopted daughter being the CEO's fiancée, who the CEO is only engaged to because of his own family wanting him to be married. There are some cheesy twists, like the brother of the adopted sister being in love with the secretary, the CEO's fiancée hiring a hitman to kill him, and the big reveal that it wasn't an accident when the secretary fell down the stairs and almost died as a child. It was actually her jealous adopted sister, the CEO's fiancée, and so on. As for me, I played the role of the CEO's best friend, whose only role in the story is constantly trying to sleep with the secretary despite knowing about the CEO's feelings for her. What stood out was the level of micromanagement by the filming company's executives. Every time we got into costume, one of the production assistants would take a picture, send it to someone in China who, from 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. China time, would approve or make changes to the outfit. The visual of a Chinese businessman alone in an office at 2 a.m. rapidly texting that my tie wasn't the right color really cracked me up. What didn't crack me up was when I arrived on the first day of shooting, when they decided that I should be clean-shaven and handed me a disposable razor to take care of my beard. Other strange aspects were the call times. One instance I was called in at 10 a.m., didn't end up in a scene until 7 p.m. Every other day ended up being shooting one scene in the morning, another scene 8 hours later. And this was the case with multiple of the other side characters. In spite of this, we managed to shoot the entire script in 7 days, although only one of these days was under 12 hours. Overall, it was a bizarre but fun experience, which I'd love to do again sometime. Isn't that strange?
So are they each completely separate, these 1 minute stories, or are they stories that are 1 minute episodes
it's
over
150 episodes, and each episode is 1 minute. And you tie them all together into a series that's about the length of a movie. So it's like 150 minutes. So quite a long movie, but I guess in TV terms, 150 episodes would be fucking hundreds and hundreds of hours. So it's sort of like these little disposable little soap opera updates. Now, this is really weird. I find this interesting because I'd never heard of it. I love the idea that this is popular in China and they're filming it with white people in Canada for some reason. But I pitched to Sarah that we should do for the Yogs TikTok a soap opera, which is like a couple of episodes a week, which is just like 1 minute episodes around the office. And like if someone's visiting or someone's in the office that day, they're in the episode. And you have like a mini EastEnders set in the Yogscast office, just a couple of episodes a week. She was like, I love the idea, but nothing's ever come of it. These Chinese lads must have been listening, and now they've gone and done it.
No, I also, God, I really like the oversight from China. Could you imagine like getting that text of like, yeah, we need to shave your beard off.
Yeah, we need a red tie. Like, why has he got a blue tie? He needs a red tie.
And then like two hours later, you know, they're like, no, put the beard back on. Actually,
yeah, we need the beard back.
We need the beard back.
So weird.
How?
You just gotta shave. You just gotta keep all the shavings and then tape it all together.
Oh, right.
To put it back
true.
on. It's easy.
All right.
Well, you know, if you're just a background character, I guess they won't notice.
No, I really want to know more about this. And if anyone can find a link to an episode, send it over because I'd love to watch it. This one is for you, Sips, and the title of the email is "Tell Sips to be careful."
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Football Manager has been cited in at least 35 divorce cases.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, one obsessive persuaded his wife to honeymoon in Bulgaria so he could visit the team he was managing in the Bulgarian second division. So,
wow.
35 divorce cases. So
well, listen, I've been playing some Football Manager, but I'm back on a different type of crack now. I've been playing Hearthstone, so...
Oh, wow.
I've transitioned
that feels like a throwback.
Back over, yeah. So there could be some more Football Manager in my future. I wouldn't... I never say never, but for now... I'm on the hard stuff. I'm on or should I say the hard stuff?
That's great, the hard stuff. But if I may, Football Manager 25, the new one, is coming out this year. So if you wanted to pick back up, you could do it with the new title. I'm just saying that might be an idea. Because apparently it's all kinds of jazzy new shit in it. Anyway, this is another one about Guernsey.
So hang on, before we carry on.
All right.
Is there any evidence of Hearthstone causing divorces or Dota?
I'm sure there is. There's got to be. But maybe those games are too nerdy to even mention.
Yeah, I think they're a bit too
They're
niche.
not mainstream
Football Manager is
games.
well known, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny because a lot of the people that play Football Manager would never touch another game. Like, this is their game. They love football and they love a computerized version of football, but they do not play any games other than Football Manager. I know a bunch of people like that. So I think the reason that it's news and more well known for the divorces and stuff like that is because this is a game that, quite frankly, non-gamers play, so it's made it into the news. It doesn't feel like gaming news. It just feels like news.
Dota and Hearthstone are kind of like a bit more, less mainstream in that sense.
So I just found a post on Reddit which is called "Dota 2 may have just cost me my marriage." I think it's a joke, but I'm pretty sure it's a joke from a skim. But hey guys, so I was balls deep in a game of Dota, absolutely stomping as Nick's assassin. This was the anyway. I'm like,
how old is this post?
4 years.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm fucking dunking on these kids. My phone starts going off as we're taking Roshan. I give my phone a quick glance, see it's my wife, and decline the call.
Oof.
She calls me again. I decline again. My wife knows better than to bother me in a game of Dota, and I'm very big on making sure she knows who the man of the house is. Then her sister calls. Ignore. Her mother calls. No. Eventually, I turn off my phone because my team is throwing the lead I'd worked so hard to create, and I don't want to take out my anger on someone I care about, or my wife. I start to play better now that I'm not worried about what she had to say, but I'm still mad because I know I haven't heard the end of this. I'd rather lose than get abandoned like any other Dota player. We finally make the comeback, which shouldn't have ever had to have been a comeback, and I call my wife. Let's call her Jennifer. Anyway, at this time, I remember that Jennifer is 9 months pregnant and due for a baby any time now. So I call her on my phone and she won't answer. She left me a voicemail explaining that she was going into labour, and by the time I made it to the hospital, my firstborn son, Alex, was already born. I missed the birth of my firstborn son, and my wife is staying at her sister's house. I have already been contacted by a divorce lawyer. I guess the lesson here is that sometimes it is okay to abandon a game of Dota 2 if there is something important going on. I'll keep everyone updated, but I'm fully prepared for a custody battle at this time.
Jesus.
So that's like a 1 minute long soap opera. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could do that.
Oh,
God.
Shit like this, man.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, the drama, the twists. It turns out, that one of the players on his team, it was actually his child. It wasn't even his, and
Gregg Wallace signing off.
Gregg Wallace was on his team, a Dota team. Yeah. Oh my God. Fuck me. So yeah.
Just having a simple Saturday. My teammate was absolutely stomping these kids as Nick's assassin. I was playing Enchantress Jungle.
Dad, where were you when I was born? Well, crushing mid, son. You know that much.
Before we continue, going online without ExpressVPN is like not having a first aid kit in your home. Most of the time, you'll probably be fine. But what if you have an accident and there's nothing to stop the bleeding? Every time you connect to an unencrypted network, in cafes, hotels, or airports, your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network can gain access and steal your personal data, your passwords, your bank logins, your credit card details. It doesn't take much technical knowledge to hack someone. A smart 12-year-old can do it. Hackers make up to $1,000 per person selling personal info on the dark web. ExpressVPN stops hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. I have ExpressVPN installed on my computer and on my phone. I use it when I'm away. I use it at home. I recommend it. It's easy to use. You can fire up the app, click one button to get protected, and it works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more. You can secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/Triforce. That's expressvpn.com/Triforce, and you get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/Triforce. On with the show.
This is a follow-up to something we spoke about either last mailbag or one before. So as we were talking about when have humans ever helped the environment? Had a few emails about this, and the question was: is there anything that we've done for the environment that was directly beneficial, or how have humans actually helped?
Think of all the fertilizer we've created.
Well, yeah, I guess. So this was that we've had a large. Curing rabies, or not curing it, but trying to sort of eradicate
vanquishing it.
Obviously, the UK doesn't have rabies, and that is very good for humans, but it's also really good for wildlife because obviously they get rabies and die, and it's horrible for them. So one of the things that we've done is by getting rid of rabies, that has helped the environment. But I think it's also helped people, and that's more of a corollary effect rather than the reason for doing it. I had quite a few emails about the humans helping the environment. Some people saying the environment will be fine with or without us, and we're kind of irrelevant, which I think is wrong, and that the Earth will be fine long after we've gone, but you can do irreparable damage. And it's all very well having a planet, but I think the environment is also about biodiversity and life and everything like that. Well, I suppose give it enough time after we've gone, it'll get back to something like that. But you never know; we might fuck it up so badly.
And there's also
plastic.
times where there's like just a full reset as well, right? Something large crashes into Earth or whatever. It doesn't really matter who was there before. You might find bits and pieces of them, but generally you're just starting from scratch again, with different different parameters. Yeah,
Apophis, which is like the herald of doom or something. It's like it's going to come, I think, in 2029 within 20,000 miles of Earth.
Yeah,
and you're going to be able to see it quite clearly as a big streak across the sky.
Wow.
And it's huge. If that hit, that's the end of things. And apparently they're like, don't worry, it's not on course to hit us. But they're going to study it because they're thinking it could be in the future, and we need to figure out how to fucking blow this thing up.
We could divert it to hit us.
We could.
That would be an interesting movie. It would be like the opposite of Armageddon. Okay, now's our chance.
We're absolutely fucking up this.
We're going to divert this thing right into us.
Time for a reset. We want to divert. We're going to send up.
We're going to move the Earth into the path of this asteroid.
Mr. President, plans are afoot and they're succeeding. Excellent. Keep it up. Keep me informed. I'll be in the bunker. That won't help you, Mr. President. Okay, then. This is a even more obscure sports slang. This is good because this is a sport that I think none of us know anything about. Okay, do you want
really?
Yes.
After the Olympics, where we already didn't know fucking half of them. Okay, give
is it the one where you got a towel in your pocket and you're shooting a gun?
No, this is about Aussie rules football.
Oh,
this is the slang they use in Aussie rules football. Do you know anything of it? It's all very Australian.
Aussie rules. It's like rugby. It's footy.
It's
all right. It's kind of like on an oval field. I don't remember. It's weird.
What is a Guernsey?
A Guernsey?
Yeah.
I was
it's
just
an
there.
island near to Jersey.
In relation, sorry, what is a Guernsey in relation to Aussie rules football? It's like talking to fucking Chat GPT. Go on.
That's where you stick a finger up their arse.
Is that if you get like a really small amount of yardage up the field?
No, it's not. Those are good guesses. That is the name of the shirts worn by the players, the sleeveless shirts that they wear.
Oh.
Named after...
It's like a jersey, it's a Guernsey.
Well, so that's the thing.
I get it.
It's named after the Channel Island because that's the type of knitwear that fishermen from that island traditionally wore.
Right.
But it might also be that compared to Jersey, it's a little smaller.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that it could be that. A screamer.
Is that when they kick the ball in between those posts and it screams right through?
No, I think that's a goal.
Field goal?
A screamer, that's when you kick them in the balls.
A screamer is it's related to something else called a specky. A specky, which is short for spectacular. That's when someone jumps over another player, like usually using their back and shoulders to catch the ball, and they sort of go up really high. So a screamer is when they make this catch through a pack of players with a lot of horizontal momentum, and they crash into the ground quite hard.
Wow.
That's called a specky or a screamer.
Right.
Wow, that sounds mental.
Yeah. A banana.
Oh, it's a bad throw.
Okay, that's when you catch the ball, but it slips out of your arms.
Sadly not. No, it's a kick with a curving trajectory. Normally done with like the outside of the boot. So it's a curl.
Okay.
A crummer.
It's when you catch the ball, but it slips out of your arms.
You're just using that one for all of them.
It's got to be one of them. It's got to be one of them.
It's a crummy shot. He's fumbled it. He's missed.
He's kicked the ball so hard that it has exploded into lots of little tiny bits.
Crumbs. No, it's a type of role generally filled by smaller players who let the bigger players contest the ball, and then they catch the crumbs if the ball deflects and comes to the ground.
God, I thought you were going to say it was a type of roll that they ate during the game.
No, it's a crummer.
It's like a crummer.
All right, a clanger.
It's very crummy. It's a very crummy roll.
A clanger.
A clanger.
So when you like run into somebody really hard.
Dude, you had it. What are you talking about? Yes, it's a fuck up. It's when you, like, for example, catch the ball and it slips out of your arms.
That's
like,
a clanger.
You had it. You were going to use that, and then you just changed course. I was setting you up for it.
Shit.
All right, what's a falcon? This is the best one.
So you try to catch the ball in your arms and
It's where you hit it. It's like hit it over the bar.
No, it's when someone gets clobbered in the face with the ball. That's a falcon.
Fuck's
I don't know why.
sake.
Falcon.
I just
so
love the fact there's a
close.
name for it. There's a name for it. That's so funny.
I just got
A falcon.
So that's it.
Is it named after someone who, like,
I don't know.
you know, got smacked in the face?
I don't know. Maybe because you end up with a nose like a falcon or something. It's all swollen up. I have no idea. No idea.
Weird.
Anyway, that's Aussie rules slang. There was more, but
I don't even really know what the game is, honestly.
It's
So I think that's made it much more difficult.
You've got a ball, and it's sort of like Irish or Gaelic football, I guess, where you boot it up in the air and stuff like that. It's kind of like rugby. There's like tackling. You have to bounce the ball, I think, when you're running with it, or you have to kick it. So every few paces, you have to kick the ball back up into your grass, sort of like dribbling.
Like basketball.
Yeah, but kicking instead of bouncing on the ground. And then I think you have to kick it between some posts. And the outer posts are worth less than the inner posts or something like that. Anyway,
But it's not an Olympic sport.
this is a question called, this is the title
Yet.
of this email is Dominant Ball. My girlfriend said that men's dominant ball typically tends to hang lower. She has medical knowledge, but I call bullshit. Your balls do not know if you're right or left-handed. What do you think? Does your dominant ball hang lower?
Didn't we talk about
Will?
the mega ball?
Mega ball?
Mega ball on this. Like, if one of your balls gets injured or shrunk for some reason, the other one can grow to compensate, and you end up with a mega ball.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's relevant to deciding between two, because generally they're not side by side.
Mine
One
are like
does
just two
hang
little
lower.
peanuts. Mine are like two little raisins.
They're not supposed to hang at the same level because when you run, they'd like bang together like a desk toy.
Do you think it's
We
that?
talked about this.
They
Or
would
do you think it's-
that's what I would call a clanger.
Yeah, that's a falcon right there, mate.
They're clanging together.
I thought it was so that they're not touching and presumably transferring heat between one another and sort of cuddling each other. That if you keep them separate, it's easier to cool them. That would be my guess. Because you've got to maintain a certain level of cool.
I don't know. It's difficult to know what the answer to this is.
It is
I've thought a lot
indeed.
about balls.
Yeah,
Have-
it depends. Is it cold or hot out when you're measuring them as well? Because
I
if it's
don't know.
cold, they're all like shriveled up. You know, like they're trying to retreat back into your body almost. But
Yeah,
if
they
it's,
wanna stay
if it's
warm.
hot, they're dangling like crazy.
They sure as hell are.
Well, I mean, you're usually wearing the shorts.
Yeah, mine,
So, I mean, are yours constantly in a state of shrivel?
Of
full
terror.
dangle. No, mine are constantly like got like an udder down there. It's crazy.
Very, very swinging.
All right.
Yeah, me too. Like, I'm a big swinging boy.
Well, this is
A big swinging
let's change the
ball.
subject for anyone that doesn't like hearing about nutsacks.
Mega ball.
This is from Dan. Simple email. Salutations. This is a jingle. This is a non-AI jingle
Okay.
for the mailbag.
God, we really are getting whiplash here from the fucking balls to
This is a jingle. So here you go. We'll play it
jingles.
in 3, 2, 1,
fuck
play.
me.
Are you ready? Are you ready to shit? Are you ready to shit? Welcome to the Triforce podcast. Are you ready
I like
to
that.
shit?
Are you ready to shit?
Triforce podcast. Are you ready to shit?
That's nice.
Take a big poopity doopster on jibbity bom bom bim bom bim bom bom bom. Hey, podcast.
Very
There
good.
you
I
go.
like the ending. So hey, that's good.
I've never really thought, are you ready to shit?
Are you ready to
Like-
shit?
I don't
Are you
think
ready
we
to shit?
shit. I'm not quite sure why we're meant to be urging
Are
our
you ready
listeners to shit.
Very catchy. I'm going to be singing that fucking
Every
jingle
time I need to shit
all
now, that's
for the
gonna
rest
be,
of this week.
Are you ready?
Are you
to
ready to
shit?
shit?
Are you ready to shit?
Are you ready to
Triforce
shit?
podcast.
Are you ready to shit?
I think it's great.
Very
we
straightforward,
should
very
adopt that
straightforward
as our
song. We like
official song.
All right,
Are you ready to
you ready to
shit?
shit?
You ready to
It's a little bit.
shit?
It's a little bit sort of stonery though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like almost. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why is this funny? It's very funny.
That's
though.
funny.
God,
Yeah,
brilliant.
I like that.
Love it. Whoever made
Dan.
that. Well done.
Thank you,
Dan.
Dan.
Brilliant.
This is very simple list of silly names. I come across a lot of silly names in my job in KYC, whatever that means. What's KYC?
It's Kentucky. Kentucky? KYC?
Know your customer, a process that financial institutions use.
Know your client.
Oh, it's know your customer. It's designed to protect financial institutions against fraud. So they have to see they have to check up, so they see a lot of names. My coworker and I will send each other any names which give us a laugh while we're on shift together. So here are some of the best we found. These are just straight up silly names.
Real people's names.
Real people's names. La Crystal Scroggins.
Nice.
Amandus Dix.
No, stop. The Crystal Scroggins.
Yeah. Kobe Crompton Froggatt.
Nice.
Asa Dick.
Asa Dick.
Minji Wang.
Minji Wang.
Minji Wang. That's got to be the best
Rhino
one.
Kitchen.
Rhino Kitchen.
Suck Bang.
Suck Bang. Classic
That's
name.
a classic
There's been
name.
I mean, that's
so many
this
suck
old school
bangs out
name.
there.
Giuseppe Fatti Gatti.
Giuseppe Fatti Gatti.
Yeah. Simpson sent a link to a Wikipedia article for fire chief and convicted drug dealer Bum Farto.
Yeah, Rabs linked this to me yesterday. This guy's a fire chief and convicted drug dealer in Key West, Florida, who disappeared in 1976, and his name is Bum Farto.
Bum Farto. Did they? What the fuck?
What about?
I love
what
it.
about Ziggy Roy Toilingsperger
Ziggy Roy Toilingsperger.
or Nicole Wank?
Oh, these are all so good. Nicole Wank could be
Nicole
like,
Wank.
you know, a supermodel, you know, easily.
Baby Jacob.
Well, that's
Someone's name is
First name is
Baby.
Baby. Baby Jacob.
Pinky Pankarasi. That's a good one.
Pinky Pankarasi.
That sounds like an In the Night Garden
cute.
name.
It does.
Who's there? It's Pinky Pankarasi.
It's Pinky Pankarasi. Beep, burp. This is from someone who's emailed in to talk about the Australian breakdancer Ray Gunn.
Oh, yeah.
Just FYI, contrary to what Lewis thinks, Australians did not love the performance of our breakdancing representative Rachel Gunn. Everyone I know and work with found it mega cringe.
It was.
I'm sure there are some who loved it, but I've not met one yet.
Well, all right. Look,
yeah,
Just to
apparently
give
she's
the
been having
Aussies a break.
a hard time.
I liked
Old
it.
Ray Gunn.
What did you like
I
about
thought it was great. I thought it was fun. It was new. It was interesting. I just think it's we need more of that. More of this, please. Yes.
We did think that she might be hailed as a kind of Eddie the Eagle Edwards hero, but I always felt that Eddie the Eagle Edwards was giving it a bloody good go. I feel like Rachel Gunn was taking the piss, is what it felt like. Like, at no point did I think this is serious. And in a way, she's kind of clowning on all the people who did take it seriously, regardless of what you think about breakdancing in the Olympics. Those people, this was their time to shine, and she's just turned up and just fucked it off and made Australia look kind of silly, I think. That's how I feel about it.
She's had a lot of online hate after her Olympics performance, apparently.
Yeah, no shit.
It's been
shit.
The whole thing has just been meant.
She's also signed up to a talent agency as well. 23 minutes ago, hot off the press.
Good. Let's get her in more stuff. I, for one, need more of this.
You need more Rachel Gunn.
You need some more
All right,
Rachel Gunn.
This is about a Vietnam road trip. This listener, Ilias, went on a long road trip in Vietnam. From Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City, took over a month. They did a bike ride.
Wow.
I assume they mean like motor scooter, but it could be.
Did he follow the Ho Chi Minh Trail?
I don't think you can, because I think that was through jungle.
Yeah, but I think
more
it's
of
like a
path.
historical walk now. I think you can actually follow it.
I
Because
don't
there was
think you
loads of
bike
little
it.
caches and stuff along the way.
There's loads of little mines.
There's
mines
loads of
and
little
trip flares
minefields and those
yeah.
ones, the ones you fall, you step into
really
and the
quaint.
spikes impale
It's a
your
pungy
legs.
steak trap. A pungy steak trap.
Yeah.
They would smear those with excrement so it would infect the wounds. There's a little Vietnam
lovely.
detail for you.
Lovely.
Here are a few things about driving in Vietnam. Most important rule, predictability. If other drivers can predict what you're going to do, you're safe. For example, if you want to do a U-turn in the middle of a busy road, this is fine, as long as you are going slowly and steadily. This also applies to crossing the road, because there's so much traffic, especially in the cities, you have to make your own space for these kinds of maneuvers. There's no waiting for a gap, you just have to make one slowly and surely. Also, if you're approaching someone who's making their own space and change your speed or try to brake to give them room, you actually make things worse, as you are no longer predictable in Vietnam. So if someone is reversing into the road, you just carry on straight past them. Not like the UK where you would brake and give them space and everything. So the system works as long as everybody is adhering to the same batshit crazy system. And you just hit your horn all the time to let people know where you are. Beep, 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 beep. So this guy's on a bike, I presume motorbike, so he's just beeping all the fucking time. And they're all doing it. The bikes are just flowing constant movement. There's no stopping. Everything lane. On motorways, Vietnam has what can only be described as the everything lane. This is a lane on the right-hand side that is meant for bikes, but will also have the following. Bikes and bicycles driving the wrong way against traffic. Cars, trucks, and buses suddenly pulling into it or pulling out of it. People walking either way. Lottery ticket sellers. Kids on 50cc scooters driving in either direction. People pulling carts of fruits in either direction. Kids playing. Bikes that are on their last legs and couldn't go any faster. Rickshaws, dogs and cattle, and potholes. So this lane is like everything just squeezes into this lane. How the hell are people navigating this? The road safety conditions in Vietnam must be absolutely abysmal. How would you handle this?
Oh,
I just wouldn't drive.
I don't even know how you start learning to drive in a place like that. It's like throwing into a tank of sharks. It's like, I guess they're all driving quite slowly. There is this push for city centres to have like less dedicated crosswalks and more like just kind of shared spaces, and because the cars apparently it is safer to not have like blind pedestrians walking across a thing. You know, it's better if everyone's aware that it's like a shared space, and they could do it with like road tiles and signage and there's this new push to have these like shared or like roads that are not as delineated between what's allowed and what's not allowed, and apparently it's generally safer. And I wonder whether in fact in these places where it feels like controlled chaos, it's actually not so bad because no one's doing 40 through that. Do you know what I mean?
So I'm watching a YouTube vid called American Riding a Motorbike in Hanoi, Vietnam. Crazy traffic. And this is 8 years ago. And he's riding a little scooter and it just looks crazy. Like people just stop. There's no signaling. Everybody's going in all kinds of directions. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I guess you just have to go with the flow. But the road safety statistics, Vietnam. I'm just going to Google this. Road safety, Vietnam. It just says wear a helmet. That's the top result. Wear a helmet. Fuck me.
Is that the Google AI helping you out there?
No, that's the localvietnam.com road safety and traffic tips. Good heavens. All right. Anyway, thank you for that. I'm horrified. This is about twinning. We were talking about town twinning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So this is interesting. This is from the University of York. I'm going to show you guys this picture. This is a toilet that was twinned with another toilet. The University of York, there is a toilet. And as you can see on the picture here, it says this toilet is twinned with a toilet, and it gives a latitude, and it appears to be somewhere in Guatemala. Am I reading that correctly?
Twinned.
Oh.
It's twinned with a toilet
by the students at the University of York with a latrine at Guatemala. San Juan Mocha, Guatemala. Toilet twinning. That is interesting.
Why would you do that? Oh, if you read this email, please read my name so I can prove it to my friends, if you don't mind. Thank you, Bradley. There you go.
Okay.
Twinning toilets. How strange. This is a Glastonbury email. This is about experiences at Glastonbury. If possible, please keep me anonymous. It's possible. I won't read out your name. There you go. After listening to Mailbag 36 and hearing your discussions about festivals, I wanted to tell you about my volunteer role at Glastonbury. I've worked the festival for a few years now, and my main role is to be a witness to evictions and incidents on site.
Wow.
The majority of this is people who try to get in for free or with fake tickets. Glastonbury is extremely hard to break into or get fake tickets for, but has a long history of people attempting to get in. Tickets are hard to fake as everything has your face and name on and multiple redundancy systems to avoid counterfeiting. The festival removes hundreds of people a day attempting to sneak in. The system is fairly friendly. No prosecution is made unless you attempt to kick off at the staff. A security team will even drop you at the local station or your vehicle if you're nice. For some reason, I don't want to read this next bit, actually. It's just throwing a certain group of people under the bus, but it's claiming that most of these people are from a certain city in this country, and saying that they are the ones that they almost always had to chuck out, but I think it's unfair. If you had to break into a festival...
Name and shame, the city.
Liverpool.
Fucking Liverpudlians.
You can't say...
Cheeky fuckers.
You can't say it on this podcast. There's tons of Liverpudlians listening to this podcast. I think this is the number one podcast in all of Liverpool.
It becomes a game, though, right, for a lot of people, because they know there's no real, like, there's no real penalty for doing it. And if they can get away with it, I mean, I think we were talking about this before, weren't we? With you saying, because I ended up watching some video of some guy saying, gonna break into Glastonbury today. Go see if I can walk around the site, get a ladder, stick it on the fence and just hop over. It's. I mean, Duncan used to break into Glastonbury all the time back in the day when it wasn't proper security. But now, no, I think it's become this huge thing. I wonder if this toilet twinning thing I was thinking was like some idea or some push to get more public toilets out in places that are lacking them, because that's a big problem in a lot of the world. Just like hard to find a fucking public toilet. Like even when I was in like the Netherlands, every toilet you had to pay for. Even in like a big shopping centre, the toilets were like €1. Which I guess isn't too bad, I mean, I guess it comes from spending a penny. People have been spending pennies to go to the toilet since ever. But like, it's just like I don't carry coins. Like, what's the deal?
So
like,
you can pay
just
with
tap.
a card now in a lot of these places.
You just tap nowadays.
Public toilets is a genuine problem because for some reason there's been a big push to shut them down over the years, and it is now genuinely very difficult. And you go into, if you're out in central London, for example, if you're in Covent Garden and you want a wee and there's a big Starbucks there or something like that, you can't get into the toilets. You need the code. And to
Or
get
the
code,
key. You need the key.
Yeah, it's either
and they
a key
put the
or
key
a
on
code.
like a big wooden spoon as well. It's very cumbersome.
Yeah, and you've got to buy something, and then you can use their toilet. There is no public option. Like, they're very few and far between. This used to be common that there would be public fucking toilets, because there's something we all have to do. And now they're like, no, because presumably it cost a little bit to upkeep.
I tell you what, in France, they got loads of them.
Yeah, they do.
And
a lot
they're
of other
manned.
countries have a ton
And
of
you
them.
got to pay for
Yeah,
them.
they're manned. It's true.
You do
a
gotta
lot of
pay
other
for them,
countries have them.
and you got to pay.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. I
I
don't mind paying for the
Like,
upkeep.
I don't mind paying a bit just to use a clean toilet. It's fine.
I mean, you get some that have like a dry cleaning service. I've seen that. There's a public toilet with a dry cleaners next to it. So they run a dry cleaning service, and they have someone sat there also manning the toilet.
In
and
case
you
you shit yourself.
Yeah, you can get
just,
it quick clean. Exactly. I mean, you can get some public toilets where they even have shower facilities and stuff. I'm thinking, this is useful. This is helpful. And they're like, no, we'll shut it down. It's costing money. How much can it cost to run a fucking public loo? Come on. If I can pay 20p and that's enough, it can't be that much. We can bring them back. We need more.
It's you see it at like some of the nice there's a couple of the nice services near Bristol, the Gloucester Road services, and they have like a little shower room facility there for people who need like I guess it's for truckers mostly or for traveling people, but it's obviously a service that is just some people just need it. People's situations are strange, and sometimes the luck and the chances that you have in life can go the wrong way, and you can end up, getting kicked out of where you're staying, and your family can't help you for some reason, or you've been in a car accident and your car's been towed away. There's things that happen, right, where people need help, and due to often through no fault of their own, and having like things like the ability to have a shower is very can really be a big influence, or just having a public toilet when old people need it, or young family needs it,
a fat young
like
family,
a fat young family, or a skinny young family. I'm not saying a fat young family needs
I thought that's what you said. I was like, what?
I don't
Very
know.
specific.
Do they shit more?
These fatties need a goddamn toilet. All right, this is a last email, I guess, this week. This is from Firefighter Kevin.
Firefighter Kevin.
Who is a volunteer firefighter for a state fire committee. So there you go. Any questions? Ask away. I'm a fireman from Michigan. I work next to Detroit. It's a very high crime, low income area. I was intrigued enough by the last emails about firefighters and their stories to relay some of my own. Yes, firefighting is a very emotionally taxing job, but also very rewarding. Not just because you help people, but also the general craziness that we encounter.
Yeah.
Our department members are dual trained in firefighting and emergency medicine, like most departments in America, so we get fire scene and ambulance stories. We had a gentleman call the ambulance because a whole apple had been stuck up his bum for 2 days.
Jesus.
Okay.
He stated that his wife's apple had come out fine, but his was stubborn. We were relieved that he was honest with us and didn't lie and say he fell onto it in the shower or something. Why are you as a couple deciding, let's stick apples up our bums? Can you just please, people, stop? What is going on? Just stop. Stop. Anyway, that was my addition. That was not in the email. We once found a body wrapped in a blanket in the attic bedroom of a house fire. A father and son shared the house, and the father wasn't home. So when the detectives questioned the son, he had no idea what had happened. Only when the father arrived home did he have to explain that his hyper-realistic sex doll was what they found in the attic to the detective and to his son. Little kids always go crazy when we honk the horn or wave from the fire truck. They frequently underestimate how loud the air horn is and fall on the ground because it scared them, which we get a real kick out of, which is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
In general, loves the job. I thought that was interesting. And there are some photos which sadly you podcast listeners can't see.
Their poor little eardrums
fires.
probably exploded. There's like blood leaking out their ears, and the firefighters are laughing at them. Good.
I do remember waving at fire trucks and how exciting
I'm just
it
joking.
was.
Of course you do.
The ones in America seem to have much louder horns than the ones in the UK. I certainly remember as a kid
The
in New York
sirens are different too, aren't they? In America.
Yeah, but they have that.
There's
really
more of a Nina
like that.
kind of over here, whereas in America it's more of a wailing.
It is.
like
It's quite
one.
plaintive.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the mailbag this week. An interesting bag. A lot of stuff.
Fascinating
A lot of stuff catching up on and sort of commenting on previous things. Keep those news stories coming. Keep the news stories coming. You got something interesting.
The new stuff, but also it's fun to go back and get some reactions from the old stuff too.
It is. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
It's a nice, very good. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Triforce podcast. I'm ready to shit. You should play that on the fucking. People just should sing that when they need a public toilet. Maybe the fire ambulance. Should
I'm
do it
ready
as
to
well.
shit.
You need a shit. I'm ready. Mobile shit station. Take a shit
We're
here.
ready to shit.
Here's a phone number you can call, like an Uber, but for shitting.
What, your
How about that?
portable
A
Portaloo?
Schuber.
You need a shit.
A poober.
You call a poober. I need a shit. They could play it out. They could use it for the advert. Triforce podcast.
How weird would it be?
I'm ready
Like
to
they
shit.
just deliver you a workman's porta potty wherever you are when you need to shit. So like it'll just be like on the sidewalk in the way, you're like on the high streets just there.
There's like a drone
Yeah.
drops a
Yeah.
potty down.
Check
And
in there.
everybody knows what you're doing in there.
Check in Poober and to find the nearest toilet that someone's parked
The
somewhere.
thing is, though, you would get a lot of like bonus points from the community, because if somebody did deliver a porta potty to you for you to shit in on the spot, after you got out, there'd be loads of people queued up to use it as well.
They're like, great idea.
Yeah,
I love shitting
I
in
need to
public.
shit too.
Yeah, let's all shit
Oh
together.
my God, Jenny, you're shitting here too? Oh, that is disgusting.
Jenny,
What did
oh
you
my
have for dinner
God.
last night? Oh my God, was it burritos again? Oh.
And on that bombshell, that's the end of this week's mailbag. Thank you for all your
Great
emails.
idea.
And Joy, someone's
Always
pointed
full of
out,
great
somebody
ideas.
has pointed out that they don't know the email address. It's pyriumflax@gmail.com or mailbag@yogscast.com.
There you go.
So there's two.
There you go.
There you go. And they all come to the same place.
Farto?
Bumfarto away. Keep those bumfartos coming.
Signing off. Farting off.
Goodbye.
Pinky Pankarasi?
Sure.
Bye.
Thanks. Shout out to Pinky.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the Triforce podcast. Are you ready to share? Triforce podcast. Are you ready to shit?